Hello! Today in this video I'm going to talk to you about the 5 main mountain towns that people are moving to just west of the greater Denver metro area. So if you want to learn about Morrison, Conifer, Evergreen, Bailey, Golden, you gotta stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Sean Murphy, and on this channel we make videos about living in Colorado. It is as simple as that. So if you are into that and you want to stay up to date on the latest videos that we put out, because we do it about weekly, you gotta subscribe and you gotta hit that bell so you're notified each time we put up that new hotness. But we're talking about the top 5 mountain towns today that people are going to when they want to be kind of close to the greater Denver metro area, but not on the Front Range. So the Front Range is basically the flat part of Colorado. As soon as you start to hit the mountains, those are the foothills, and then transfers into the mountains of Colorado. So best know what the Front Range is, because our first area, Morrison, Colorado, it straddles both the Front Range and the mountains. So when I'm setting up a home search for my clients that are thinking about moving out here, I don't just type in Morrison, because then you're going to be getting residential stuff, which you don't want. So I usually just use the drawing tool, and I'll go right here along the topographical map, and that's where I'll start. And so Morrison has a town area, and all of the areas that we're mentioning in this video, they are towns in the sense that there is a shopping, dining, town like meeting area. A couple of the areas that are also awesome, like Genesee, Kittredge, Idledale, I consider those more like communities. We're starting off with Morrison because it is tucked really close to Red Rocks Amphitheater, which if you haven't heard of Red Rocks, you need to. It's freaking amazing. It is our world-renowned amphitheater cut out of the rocks of the Rocky Mountains, and it is gorgeous. You can see the whole Front Range, and it's an amazing place to go see a show. And right next to it is the town of Morrison, so it is right as you're heading up into the mountains. But a lot of people that live in Morrison in the mountains, they don't utilize it, because in order to get to it, you gotta come down 285, jog over one exit, and then you'll hit the town of Morrison. So a lot of people that live in Mountain Morrison, they're going on Turkey Creek and they're going to CONIFER to get their shopping done. Morrison is great. A lot of the roads to the houses in Morrison are going to be paved and are also going to be maintained by the county, which is great. So you really just have to worry about your driveway for the most part. There's always exceptions in the mountains. And then because you're not too far deep into the mountains, some of these houses, like if you drive on City View or Horizon View, and it's gorgeous. You'll see the sunrise. It's still an amazing place to live. So I give a big thumbs up to Morrison, because if you want to be uber close to Denver, it is the quickest route down the hill. And there are 2 main routes down the hill. So one of my first questions when I am talking to people about, hey, where do you want to live? It's like, where do you got to get to? Do you have to come downtown at all? And if you're going to be accessing 285, just know it's a little bit slower. It's a gorgeous road. It's a 2-lane highway for the most part, but it starts off real windy, kind of through a canyon. It is really beautiful. It leads to Morrison, Conifer, which we'll get to, and also Bailey, which is on this list. The other main route, which is the main route, it is the most trafficked road to get into the mountains, it was I-70. So if you're going to be going on I-70, it's like 65 the whole way. But like I mentioned, Morrison straddles the Front Range and also the town of Golden. So Golden is called the gateway to the west. Called Golden because it's one of the places that they found gold. Very creative naming. Also home to Colorado School of Mines and Coors Brewery. So it is a bunch of smarties, but also a bunch of people that like to drink. And so like the town of Golden is in the Front Range, it's flat. And there are houses that are in Golden, but they will be in the mountains. A couple of them are gonna be like Coal Creek and Clear Creek Canyon. And canyon living is a little bit different in the sense that you have to drive to get anywhere, and your internet connectivity might not be that awesome because you're in a canyon. That is a house-to-house thing. It's just a little bit more common in Golden. So you got Morrison, you got Golden, those are straddling the Front Range. Let's go up to Conifer, because I really like Conifer. Conifer has one of the best shopping areas as far as like big box grocery stores. They have a King Soopers and a Safeway, but they also have good places to eat like Twin Fork, you have Brooks Tavern, you have Conifer Cafe, you got Dutch Brothers Coffee, you have like automotive stuff. Like the Aspen Park area is what I'm referring to, is relatively new as well. So they're like, hey, I want to be in the mountains but like not be too far away from anything. Conifer is a great place to look. Almost positive you're going to be on well and septic if you're in Conifer, and don't get worried. Don't get worried about that. Don't let it scare you away. Not a huge deal. For the most part, you won't notice it. Some of the areas, if you get like way up into the mountains where it maybe access is really rough, you won't have natural gas, you won't have propane. You're going to be heating that house on just a wood burning stove, pellet stove, or you're going to be rocking electric. Also, what I like about Conifer, you have access to Evergreen, which it is the most popular town just west of Denver. If you jump on Route 73, you can get over to Evergreen really easily. So that's Conifer. It's cool. If you're close to 285, you're about 45 minutes down to the Front Range. But it could also be an hour depending on how far you are into Evergreen, which we'll get into that in a minute. But where should we go? Do you want to go to Evergreen next, or do you want to go to Bailey? Choose your adventure. Pick which option you want here. Oh wait. Just kidding, we don't have that feature yet, but you could skip ahead on the timeline below. If you liked that joke, give this video a like, give me a thumbs up, do the YouTube thing, help a brother out. We appreciate you appreciating us. Let's go to Bailey. So Bailey is a town that is about as far as people are willing to go if they're still ever gonna commute down to the Front Range, like regularly for work. It's about an hour downtown, and it could be further just depending on how far you are off 285. But Bailey is cool. It has its own what's it called? Bailey, not the trading post, the crossroads. Put it up here. I forget what it's called. Junction, Pine Junction. So Bailey has Pine Junction. And so there's restaurants, there's a little bit of shopping and grocery there. Not as big as Aspen Park, but still it gets the job done. And if you're a local and live in the Bailey area, that's where you're gonna be. People like Bailey, like I said, they don't really care too much about going downtown, like they work remotely, or if they're just like looking for better pricing, because once you hit that 1 hour threshold from the greater Denver metro area, pricing decreases. So Bailey's cool. Again, you're going to be mostly propane well type communities, but there are some really nice homes and a lot of affordability in Bailey, as long as you're okay with the location. Bailey is also home to, if you watch the South Park episode, if you watch South Park, which you should because they're funny, but Trey Parker was born in Conifer. Actually went to Evergreen High School because Conifer High School wasn't there, but they have an episode about Cartman doing YouTube videos for real estate. Really, I think I am the inspiration for that because they're making fun of realtors like me that are trying to get city people, or they call them shitty people, out to Colorado. But I digress. What I'm getting to is the Coney Island hot dog in Bailey. It's right off the side of the road. Used to be in Conifer. How's it going, guys? Crushing it. Let's talk about Evergreen, because everyone loves Evergreen, and there's a lot to love. Evergreen, it's a big area too, and you have a lot of different types of living in Evergreen. So there's actually a HOA living, like more like a city HOA living in Evergreen. Sometimes in the mountains you'll see HOAs, but most of them are just like, who's gonna maintain the road, for road maintenance, trash removal, stuff like that. Evergreen will have HOAs that will dictate like what you can and can't do with your yard and fencing, stuff like that. Fencing is really because a lot of the areas, they want wildlife just to be able to kind of roam. You got a bunch of deer, elk, fox, all kinds of things roaming through your yards, and they love that. That's part of what makes the mountain so like amazing and peaceful. So Evergreen, it has right in the middle of it, the heart of Evergreen they call it, is Evergreen Lake, and then there's a main downtown area which is super awesome. It's pretty much all local places. I love Cactus Jack's, I love the Bait Shack, I love Murphy's. Murphy's is one of my favorite places. Really cool downtown area, which can get super congested when school's letting out. Right at the corner of Highway 73 and 74 is Evergreen High School, so you can get mountain traffic, absolutely, right there going through Evergreen. But it is amazing, it's beautiful. It's got all kinds of types of houses in Evergreen. So like I mentioned, there's like Highwan Hills area where there will be HOAs by the golf course, everything like that. And then there's more commercial shopping on the north end by I-70. You'll have like Home Depot, you'll have like Starbucks, you'll just have like the big box stuff over there. It's super easy living in Evergreen, and then you're like 45 minutes to Denver Metro. As you probably suspect, Evergreen is, of the areas that I've mentioned, the highest priced, but there are so many elements. If you watch our other videos that I talk about, like access, slope, exposure, like acreage, all those like can vary so much and can dictate the price. A property might have amazing views, great square footage, it's super freaking cute, but it's like the road is like super steep and switchbacks in the winter time. Evergreen is a good place because for the most part it's pretty easy. If you could just get to a county maintained road, you'll be in good shape. So those are the 5 main areas that when people come up, they usually canvass these. So they'll go up to 85, they'll come down like Highway 73 to get to Evergreen, maybe check out Idaho Springs. I didn't mention Idaho Springs because it's not as popular, but it's more like the Bailey of Interstate I-70. So it's about that like 1 hour threshold over there. But there are also so many other good places to check out. Like I mentioned, Kittredge, Idledale. Genesee to me is one of the most amazing mountain communities, but I don't really consider it a town. It is one of the more pricey areas, but if you're looking for like luxury living with just tremendous houses, tremendous views, and so you're like 15 minutes downtown. So it's crazy how fast the vibe changes in Genesee, and that's why people love it. But to find the best place for you, we always recommend you give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. That's why we make these videos, because we love helping people find there somewhere in Colorado. And then if you're interested in more mountain videos on the main things to think about when looking at a property, we have those videos. We have a whole playlist for you that you can check out. So go do that now. All right, see you guys. Love you.